people, coming at you in just a couple minutes. It's your boy, Sports Rap CEO. You know where I'm at. Instagram at Sports Rap CEO is where I'm live. Also, get in that bio. You can get the link and check us out. All right, y'all. We gonna get it cracking. What's going on, good people? It is Monday, February the 20. What is the day? Today is the 24th. Man, there's 4 more days left in this month. February is gone, if you will. And it's been a pretty crazy February. It's quick. It's always quick because we know February is only 28 days, and we get that one extra day in the leap year, which only happens every 4 years. So here we are, 4 days away from the closing of month number 2 in year 2025. And I don't know how 2025 is going for you, but so far so good for me. It's going to be a little rough for me starting out because there are going to be some changes, or I'm going to be going through some changes, and we'll see. I know I'll get through it. It's all changes for the good, for the benefit of me, my family, and the show. So it will benefit. Okay, I'm telling y'all, it's going to benefit me. You'll see it when you, as long as you pay attention, you'll see and understand what I'm talking about as things come to fruition. So you know what it is today. Today is again Monday, and it is my day to hang out with you guys for a little bit, to chit chat. And I'm going to give y'all, you know what I do. Y'all know how I do. I'm going to get to the scores and everything from yesterday. But what I have on the agenda today, I have some Sixers talk today. I also had a little bit of an Eagles segment just talking about their new hire, but I might not get to that today. So buckle up, sit tight, feel free to join in, chime in. Like I said, y'all know what I do. If you give me comments on things that I say, or you ask me questions on my Instagram, on my live, I will definitely do my best to answer those questions for you and acknowledge you in it. So right now, as I always do, we got one so far. Blue Boy 2000 has joined. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the show. So here we go. NBA scores from yesterday. Knicks and the Celtics. The Celtics take that 118-105. The Warriors get by the Mavs 126-102. The Pacers beat the Clippers 129-111. In a high-scoring game, the Pistons get by the Hawks 148-143. The Wizards fall to the Magic 110-90. The Suns fall to the lowly Raptors 127-109. Blue Boy, I got that. Sit Embiid or play him. I'm gonna get to that. As soon as I get done with these scores, I got you. I'm gonna get to that. The Heat fall to the Bucks 120-113. The Spurs and the Pelicans take that 114-96. The Grizzlies fall to the Cavs 129-123. And the Thunder get by the T-Wolves 130-123. In college basketball, men's top 25, UConn at number 10, St. John's. St. John's holds on 89-75. Number 13, Purdue falls to Indiana 73-58. And Florida Atlantic falls to number 22, Memphis 84-65. On the women's side, Purdue at number 8, Ohio State. Ohio State holds on and takes that 98-46. Number 1, Notre Dame falls to number 13, NC State 104-95. Number 17, West Virginia at number 10, TCU. TCU holds on 71-50. Number 15, Tennessee at Florida. Tennessee holds on 86-78. Indiana at number 22, Michigan State. Michigan State holds on 73-65. Number 3, UCLA 67, Iowa 65. 25, Illinois at number 4, USC. USC holds on 76-66. Auburn at number 18, Alabama. Let's see. Bama holds on 66-50. Syracuse at Duke. Duke holds on 80-49. Duke is ranked number 11. Number 9, UNC 79. Louisville 75. Number 16, Oklahoma 94. Arkansas 54. Number 6, South Carolina 82. Vanderbilt 54. Number 23, Creighton 83. At DePaul, Creighton takes that 83-74. LSU at number 14, Kentucky. LSU number 7 holds on 65-58. And Florida State at number 20, Georgia Tech in the upset. Florida State gets by 3, 73-70. All right. So, let's see. Walt 70 wants to join. Let's see if we can get this person. And all right. So, here we go. Getting to the first point of business. Like I said, I do have plenty of Sixers talk. Cuzzo, what's good?
What's good with you, man?
Ain't nothing, man. You know I'm doing what I do. So,
yes, sir.
Real quick, thank you, brother. Real quick, getting to Blue Boy 2000. You say sit Embiid or play him. So, at this point, Blue Boy, I am all for sitting him. It is apparent and it's visible, very visible, that he is not himself. All right. Hence the reason that Coach Nick Nurse benched him in the fourth quarter the other night. When has it been other than either we're getting killed or we're killing the other team that Joel Embiid sits in the fourth quarter? I kind of somewhat applaud his, I guess you could say, admiration, his slight enthusiasm for wanting to be out there with his guys. But it's been something wrong with that knee the whole season, Blue. It's no, now it's just it's a lot more visible than it was. Okay. Right now you see everything you see is not right. To the point where he has admitted it. And like I said, to the point where Nick Nurse benched him in the fourth quarter. And Nick Nurse put it out there as, the group that was playing well, and he didn't want to disrupt that momentum, which was in actuality a nice way of saying he don't have it. He's slowing us down. We got to run with what we got. So I saw some news this morning, and for whatever reason, allegedly, the Sixers are looking for alternative answers to this knee issue. In my opinion, and I think they're basing this on the play-in tournament and where they are in the play-in tournament. Like looking at it right now, they're like a game, maybe a game and a half out of the play-in tournament. And they see that they're getting ready. They just played the Nets, and so they split with the Nets this season 2-2. And they play the Bulls tonight, and then they got the Raptors coming up again. So for me, looking for alternatives and you seeing how he's playing and how you are coming to the conclusion that it might be time to just shut him down. And for a little bit, I was like, maybe you monitor his minutes and whatever. But seeing what I saw the other night, it finally sunk in for me as well. So I'm at that point now, too, where you kind of have to say, listen, let's shut him down. Let's play these other guys. If we make the play-in tournament, okay, we do. If we don't, we don't. Let's just try to see and start doing our internal scouting on what we have on this roster for next season. And we'll start looking at what we can do in the summer. And unfortunately, that's where we are after going into the season with a ton of expectations. Let's see, Blue, you says you can rest him and ready for the plan. I mean, you could do that. And I think that's another small reason why they're talking about maybe some other alternatives where they get some kind of short procedure, not a full surgery or something done, and then he can play in the play-in tournament. But when you think about that, like you can easily say, all right, that's a good idea, resting, see what happens in the play-in tournament. And you know how that goes. You get in the play-in tournament, you never know what could happen. But the flip side of that, playing devil's advocate and being a realist, if you will, a little bit, what would be the benefit in that if you go into the play-in tournament and then you either have to play Boston or Cleveland in the first round? So again, I say, so like, what's the point? So, but again, Blue, I mean, it's a good thought. It's not a thought that's not out of people's minds. It's not a thought that's probably not out of the Sixers' mind in that same token, in that same manner, where maybe if we can find something and then rest them and get in the play-in tournament and maybe make some noise. It's going to be very difficult to make some noise if you get into that play-in tournament and then somehow get into the playoffs when you're going to be at the bottom and you're going to play Boston or Cleveland in the first round. And then you'll be doing the same thing that we've been doing for the past couple of years, getting bumped out in the first round. All right. We can't get out of the second round. So again, what's the point? So again, like I said, from now, you kind of have to evaluate the talent. And I knew something was coming because within the last week, if you were paying attention, they've done some signing, some G League players to 2-way contracts. I mean, I do like the signing of Lonnie Walker to a 2-year deal, which is good. So we know Lonnie Walker will be back next year. I also like them giving up a contract for Jared Butler, and I like the pickup of Quentin Grimes. So as far as the state of the Sixers right now, in my opinion, our backcourt, as far as our guards, are pretty good. Even with the retiring, more than likely, of Kyle Lowry, who may end up being an assistant coach anyway. But with the retirement of Kyle, and this is no discredit to Kyle, but he just can't do it anymore. He's at that point where it's about time to hang the shoes up, and put on a different pair of shoes. But again, for the Sixers right now, the guard situation looks pretty good, pretty solid. Mid-level wings, okay, because you still got Oubre. Jared Butler can play a little bit on that wing. Quentin Grimes has a little bit of size. I like Yabu. I would like to see Drummond come back. And again, like I said, you just have to work on those forwards. Paul George, and again, for the Sixers this year, unfortunately, again, the high expectations going in. And then when we looked at it, we had those little minor injuries here. We knew about the Joel Embiid situation, which was a huge one. And, Maxey had a little nagging injury. Then we had the freak injuries with Paul George, the knee, and then the finger. And then we had the foot and stuff with Drummond. So it's been a roller coaster year for the Sixers, if you will. Very, very different from the expectations that were had going into the season. So there's about a little over 20 something games left. And I think they're playing for possibly making the play-in tournament. And I think that is, and for that lack of better phrases, for them to save face, because they already feel like, and they feel like they know that this season is pretty much a wash. But I think because of the high expectations that were had, they want to try and make it seem like, oh yeah, we're going to make this push and we're going to make it into the play-in. And then, then we'll just start working on the summer. But I think they should think about working on the summer now. A lot of people were saying we're into things like tanking, completely officially tanking. I think they are tanking in a way. But for the Sixers, where they have been and where they are right now, unfortunately, an official tank for them would not be good, because the draft pick for them is not going to be a lottery pick. More than likely, it is not going to be a lottery pick. So unless they make a trade somehow and get a lottery pick in return. So it's some work to be done. A lot of decisions to be made. But I think now you have to begin to start building this team, or the thought has to be, they have to have this conversation rather, in thinking of starting to build this team around Tyrese Maxey. He's been your most consistent, although he Has had a couple games here and there where he was a little off, but we understand that's the nature of the game. He did miss a couple games for some little minor injuries, but right now it looks like this is Tyrese Maxey's team, and you need to have this conversation about building this team around Tyrese Maxey. I feel like if you can figure out a way, either sit him now, let him have the surgery now so he can be ready for training camp, Joel Embiid, but you have to also have a very, very deep conversation about what you want to do with him. And now I feel like you have to start beginning to tell him, dude, you got to take better care of yourself. You have to make better decisions as far as what you're doing in the summer. Because in all actuality, now the talk is that he probably should not have played in the Olympics. And I understand where people are coming up with that. All right, there were some issues with that knee going into the Olympics. And a lot of former pros said, yeah, well, I would have bypassed the Olympics and worked all summer on getting myself right to be ready for the season coming up. And I get that. I understand that. But then you also have some other people that are different types of thinkers. And I felt like he might have felt like this could have been his lone opportunity. He doesn't know if he'll ever get the call again. So he went and played in the Olympics and he won a gold medal. All right. So I understand him playing, but I also understand what everybody else is saying when they say, yo, dude, like you should have took that on the chin and been like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and sit out. So, but then again, this is where we are. Okay. I can sit here all day till I'm blue in the face and tell you how I feel, what I think. But it ultimately comes down to that individual's decision. And Joel Embiid made his decision. But I think now it's getting to him to the point where he already admitted that he needs to have another surgery. And like I said, I commend him for trying to play and trying to give as much as he can. But it's hurting a little bit more now than it is helping in the Sixers situation. So, you also, as that person, Joel Embiid, have to think about maybe I should just, not play and just start working on it, get this surgery and be ready for, next season. It's a funny thing, again, like I said, because everybody's different. Everybody has their own individual thought process. Everybody has their own means and why they do the things that they do. So again, yeah, he does. Got tons of money, absolutely. Again, so it's like it's not a money thing, But again, when I look at this and when I hear what I just said and what my interpretation of him playing, and just thinking a little bit about what Nick Nurse said about him playing and how I said that was a nice way of saying he just doesn't have it and we really should not be playing him. Again, it gets me, and where I'm going right now is for him playing. I think is part of what I said months ago, where I said the Sixers team, when they were on that little bit of a run, it was a small one, but it was a little bit of a run, and you saw the possibilities of what could be if Joel Embiid had been back. So I said, and this is like right around that time, shortly after the situation where Maxey called him out in the locker room. I said, maybe it's to the point now where he's on the outside looking in, and he sees his brothers, his teammates out there giving it their all, playing, trying to win games, and making an effort to do things, and he misses it. And he's to the point where he's really taking it to heart, where Tyrese actually told him everything starts with you. So now I feel like he could be taking all of that to heart and wanting to be out there to do whatever he can. But it has to come to a point where you have to say to yourself, I just don't have it and I can't give it to you. I can't give you anything. Again, I think the best person that did this was Kobe Bryant. And I've said several times, I feel like that is one of the toughest things for athletes at that high of a level as Joel Embiid is. And that type of performer that he is, very, very high on the performance list in the NBA. Arguably the best center in the NBA when he's healthy. So it's tough for them to say, yeah, I think I should hang it up. I'm not what I used to be. So it's very tough. And I totally get that. I understand that. But it also has to have some weight on the organization where now you have this investment and this investment can't perform for you. So you're thinking like, okay, what do we do? And immediately a lot of people would say, well, maybe it's time to move on or trade him. But here's the thing. You have the situation with him. It's out in the front street. It's all in the news. It's all over the media. And people around the NBA are paying attention. They're watching. They see what's going on. So if you were to try and trade him right now, people are going to lowball you from the start. And that's because of his history. His talent is there, no question about it. And people know that the talent is there. But if people are more questioned about if they make this trade, he got a big contract. If I make this trade, what are we going to get? You know, what Joel Embiid are we going to get? Are we going to have to go through the same thing that the Sixers went through? Let's see here. Blue Boy. He says, yep, but we also don't want to run him in the ground. His trade value is not there. Absolutely. And again, with that being said, and what I just said, another reason to have a serious thought about just sitting him down. It is what it is. And, you know, you see it's all over the place that the season is pretty much a wash. When was the last, when in the last, say, 5 years, have you looked on a site and seen Sixers tickets for $26 in the 100 level, the lower bowl? When was the last time you seen the Sixers give up a week stretch or a 3 to 5 day stretch, 3 or 4 day stretch when they waived fees for purchasing tickets? So you know it's bad. And it's a bad product to see. So they're lowering the ticket prices. I mean, for certain games, all the games are lower ticket prices. But even like the Warriors game coming up, I saw a ticket for $26 in the lower bowl, the 100 level for the Golden State Warriors. So people will buy those tickets now to come and see the Warriors. And the way that the Warriors are playing, at some point as it gets closer, those tickets might go back up somewhat. But it's hard for them to get people in the seats because of the product that's being produced. It's hard to watch because you get confused. You look at the games and you see Maxey going, and you see Joel trying to give you some stuff. So you can kind of be admirable about that. But then you see Paul George, who just seems like he hasn't figured out where he fits in. And I said this earlier in the season, and I don't think it happened because he's still looking confused. I said I felt like he needs to just be the Paul George that he was. When you have the ball, if you have the opportunity to go get your shot, go get your shot. When one of the guys is not on the floor, it's you. You the number one option. You have to be a little bit more aggressive. And I said at one point, I felt like it was all incumbent upon the coaching staff to reassure him of that as the new guy coming in. That listen, dude, when you feel like you ready to go, then you go. Let us make the adjustment and let everybody else know that it's Paul. He going. We gonna ride it. So I don't think that happened to the extent that maybe I would like, because I see what's going on. I see how he's playing. And again, there's talk about trading him and all this other stuff. So it gets to the point where you're very disappointed, you're discouraged, and you're also confused because you don't know what direction this team, this organization is going in. And a lot of the answers that they give you about critical points or critical questions or situations that are asked about, you get answers that are that are generic, that still leave you scratching your head like, well, he really didn't say much, or they really didn't say much. So we'll see what happens with this Joel Embiid situation. We will see if the Sixers end up making the play-in tournament. We'll see, and y'all gonna laugh at me with this, if there's any turnaround in the season, which I don't think it will be. But again, like I said, we all know how things play out. You make it into the play-in tournament, anything can happen. But again, I say, why push and try and fight and make that play-in tournament to get into the playoffs, to only be bumped out. Because again, like I said, if we get into that play-in tournament, we're going to be bottom 7 to 8. So it's going to be more than likely it's going to be Boston or Cleveland that you play in the first round. Tough wins there for the state of the Sixers right now, for this particular Sixers team. It's tough. Now, if they hadn't had these injuries, if things had come together like we expected them to, we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about this particular position for the Sixers right now. I don't believe we'd be talking about them like this right now. So the other thing I want to add in, and this is just me being an observer and also being a Philly fan. When I talked several times, and I've talked on several times on different occasions, I talked about how when things are going bad with Philadelphia teams, we are the number one talk of the town. There's always talk about we knew this was going to happen and whatever. The negatives just pile on when the team is doing bad. And again, I'm not saying that people shouldn't talk about them because I do it here. Like I tell y'all, when they good, they got to talk about them when they good. And when they bad, like I'm talking about them right now, they're bad and I talk about it and I tell you how I feel about it. But one of the things now I just seen just flashed up, Joel Embiid ruled out versus the Bulls. I expected that. But anyway, it's always some negativity piled on when you talk about the Sixers or Philly teams when they're bad. But one thing I want to ask people, and people that are paying attention to the NBA, all right, there's also have been a rumor about the Sixers possibly trading for Kevin Durant at some point. All right, I don't know how I feel about that. Mighty, my guy, thanks for tuning in, your brother. So here's the thing, right? So we talk about the Sixers and how they're doing. They are. Let me get my notes back out. Sixers right now sit at currently at 20 and 36. They're 12th in the East. And the team I'm talking about, and they're two games out of the play-in, are the Phoenix Suns on the Western Conference. They're 11th in the West. They're 27 and 30. They're one game out of the play-in. But my thing is, we talk about the Sixers. And again, believe me, trust me, I'm not making an excuse by talking about the injuries. Sixers have had some injuries, right? But overall, it's just been bad. I'm not going to lie about that. It's just been bad altogether. Okay? So, just for sakes of my discussion right now and my point, the Suns are 11th in the West, 27 and 30. As far as I know, the Suns have been fairly healthy. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Blue Boy says, yeah, the Suns need to be in the media as well. Yes, they do. So you've seen what I'm talking about. And again, like I said, when it's a Philadelphia team, we are rampant on the news. And I'm not saying it's not deserving right now. It is. But again, not blaming on injuries and not making an excuse for injuries. The Sixers have had injuries. The Suns, again, as I recall, have not had the extent of injuries that the Sixers have had. Still have 3 stars, and they're 11th in the West. And I know the West is tough. I know it is. But the Suns are supposed to be in the middle somewhere. Like Blue Boy said, they should be in the media. He said they ain't being talked about. Yes, they're not being talked about like the Sixers. It happens every time. Same things happen when the Eagles are bad. They are the talk of the town. And then you see other teams that are this and that. It's the same thing currently going on right now with the Jalen Hurts hate that continues even though he's won a Super Bowl. And I've brought this to the table before. Jalen Hurts has had stats very comparable, if not slightly better than Tom Brady, who a lot of people allege the GOAT. Okay? They talk about Jalen Hurts with the quarterbacks of today, the elite quarterbacks of today. So just to run off a couple names for you in that situation. The most current voted MVP, Josh Allen. The 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. right? When has either one of those two been to a Super Bowl? Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl twice in the last 3, 4 years. Last 4 years in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but I can't. I'm not gonna go with all. I'm not gonna go completely with color, mighty, because I just said Lamar Jackson was a 2-time MVP. He hasn't made a Super Bowl yet. Jalen Hurts is 1-1. 1-1, and he played the Chiefs twice. So he beat the Chiefs and he lost to the Chiefs. And again, he played against a quarterback who was supposedly, allegedly, very much talked about being the next in line since Tom Brady has now retired. So they lost to him the first time they went to the Super Bowl. Again, very questionable calls, yada, yada, yada. It's been an ongoing thing with the Chiefs in that point. So again, like I said, going into this Super Bowl, I mentioned some things and I said the Eagles have to go in there and take that game from the very beginning. And that's exactly what they went in there and did. And they kept it on. If you remember, if you think about it, the Eagles barely blitzed in that game. They rushed with 4 linemen and they got a lot of pressure, a ton of pressure on Pat Mahomes. All right. But getting back to my point, Sixers are bad right now. Yes, they deserve to be talked about. And again, like I said, they've had some injuries, which made it worse than what it is. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Blue Boy. So, again, the Suns, it's like, wait, what's going on? Like, why ain't nobody talking about that? Again, like I said, they haven't, from what I remember, they haven't had any major injuries. You got 3 superstars. Or if you want to say it, you got 2 superstars and 1 star. But they've been playing. So what's the problem? Why is that not being talked about? That they're not where people probably expected them to be. But it is what it is. I digress. I just had to get that point out there, because I feel like I'm going to be saying it a lot more. I'm going to be saying it quite often when things happen. Yeah, absolutely. We did beat them during that 10-1 run. Absolutely. I remember that, and I'm sure they remember. But just this Super Bowl, we just put something on them, and they didn't know what hit them. I like Andy Reid because he was here with us. He got us to a Super Bowl. But again, I felt like a lot of other people, they were just tired of the Chiefs. Kind of like the situation where when Tom Brady was playing, you were just tired of the Patriots. It's like it's always them. Like, why? What the heck is going on? Why? And then, like I said, with the elite quarterbacks, that's a whole different show. Me talking about the hate for Jalen Hurts. That's a whole different show. So again, I feel like some other things need to be talked about. Some things need to be acknowledged. And I know people see it. You can't tell me that they don't see it. But I think it's a bigger issue for the Sixers because a lot of people can have their "I told you so" moment. This is why I do what I do. I feel like I'm you guys. So I feel like I'm not on the main. Well, I'm not. I'm not mainstream media yet, but I'm me. And again, I'm you guys. So when I tell you stuff and when I talk to you about stuff, I'm giving it to you from the point of view where you understand it, where it seems like I'm just having a conversation with my peeps, which is actually what I feel like I'm doing. I'm having a conversation with my peeps. I like to point things out that I feel are biased or swayed in other directions. And again, I'm human, so sometimes I do have some biases, but a lot more times than not, when I have those biases, I kind of admit that I'm being biased in that moment. So I like to keep it 100. Like the radio station here, we said Heat 100 Radio, we keep it 100. So, the Sixers are in a state where, like we said, it's rough. Like I said, they play tonight. Joel Embiid is ruled out. I haven't looked at the full injury report to see who else is out, but he's out, and he should be out. It is. I won't say it is, but it is. But I'll say this is where we are. I know a lot of us are just anxiously waiting for the season to be over. Me personally, I'm doing what I feel like the Sixers should be doing. I'm looking at some of these young guys. Like I said, the Quentin Grimes, the Jared Butlers. Again, like I like the Lonnie Young. It was very, very discouraging that we lost Jared McCain. No, Mighty, that's probably not going to happen because you're not going to get anything for him, so it will be kind of a wasted trade. From where the Sixers actually are on paper right now, you would trade him away and get nothing. So again, it would be a wasted trade. People are going to, like I said earlier, people are going to lowball you going in because of his injury history and his history in general. And the thing is, they'll know. They'll figure, okay, we know where his talent level is, but if we make this trade, what Joel Embiid are we going to get? Are we going to get a consistent guy that we know is arguably the best center in the league when he's healthy? Or are we going to get the same thing that the Sixers are getting? Just injury stuff, and we can't get through. So it is what it is. And that's that. So moving along, folks, the Philadelphia Eagles made a hire. They lost coordinator Kellen Moore. He now becomes the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. And the funny thing, I talked to some people, and some people said to me, oh, I don't know, you go from this situation to a bad situation. I get it. Saints aren't that good. You get it. You go from coming off a Super Bowl win and you go to the Saints, that organization or that team, and be in a bad team. But now you're the head coach. You're not just an OC. So the thing I said to people is what I said quite often. At that particular level, when you get the opportunity to become a head coach, if that's a goal or dream of yours, you kind of have to take it when the opportunity comes. Yeah, but Mighty, if he plays, then he's not giving you nothing, then what's the point? When we know what we can get from him when he's healthy, or even half healthy. He's not even half healthy, in my opinion, right now. So if you play him, you still don't have that protection at the rim if he can't give you nothing on offense. He's going to settle for jump shots, the mid-range foul line jumper in the threes. So we got guards that can do that. Here's where, in my opinion, he's not playing. Here's where you get to see, you tell Paul George, look, Joel's not playing. It's you and Maxey are the guys, and everybody else will fill in where they fit, get in where they fit in. Here's where you see what you got in Paul George or what you think you might have gotten in Paul George. It's my opinion. So again, getting back to the Kellen Moore thing, like I said, I told people, at that level, if that's a goal of yours to be a head coach, when you get the opportunity, I feel like you take it because you don't know if or when it's going to come up again. And sometimes it works for people, sometimes it doesn't. But again, like I said, you've had success as an offensive coordinator. So even if the head coaching thing doesn't work for you, you can still get another job as an offensive coordinator somewhere else. You may even get a job as another head coach somewhere else, or you may not. But again, my whole point is behind that, with people saying, oh, he went to a bad situation, he shouldn't have never left. Yes, he left, but you never know if or when you will get that opportunity again. So when that opportunity comes, you kind of have to take it. I believe PG is playing tonight. There was a little bit of things I saw some questionable on Maxey, but the only person I saw that was actually ruled out so far was Joel Embiid. So I'm looking for Paul George and Maxey to be playing tonight. So folks, moving into that Eagles situation, like I said, they lost their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and congratulations to him for winning the Super Bowl, and congratulations for being named the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. So the Eagles hired from within one more time, and they hired Kevin Patullo, who has been the offensive passing game coordinator for the team, who has a relationship with Jalen Hurts, who has apparently gotten the stamp of approval from A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. So it feels like for the first time, I think, in Jalen Hurts' career so far, even after winning the Super Bowl, he feels comfortable looking forward to next season. There's not a lot of questions. I also feel like there might not be any dramatic changes in the offense. I think it's going to be rounded very similar. It's going to be some nuances, of course, because it's a different coordinator. So there will be some nuances, but these guys that are on this team have respected this coach. They've been around this coach, and they know. They said he's a very revered coach in the organization. He's very close to Nick Sirianni. They say Nick Sirianni asks his opinion on just about everything, and he listens very well. Yeah, Patullo knows the offense, absolutely. So, it's what's going to happen. We'll see. Again, like I said, I feel confident. I feel comfortable with it. Again, it's an in-house hiring, but it's at the level. Yep, and he has the players that Jay heard. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more comfortability for the team transitioning into this offensive coordinator than it will be with a whole new one coming in or something like that. So I'm okay with it. I'm on board with it. We'll see what happens. April is coming. Baseball is coming soon, so we'll have some Phillies action and some Philly stuff to talk about. Who's DJ? I think we can repeat. I think Howie's priorities are set in a way where he has some type of idea, some type of strategy how he's going to keep some guys and possibly facilitate some trades and bring some people in. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of big talk about some kind of way they're going to make a trade and bring Myles Garrett in here. Well, I mean, hey, if that happens, then, definitely a repeat. But I think the Eagles can repeat. Like I said, I feel like the new offensive coordinator has a very good comfortability level with the team and vice versa, the team with him. I think the defense and Vic Fangio have grown and are together. So I think it'll be a good thing. I don't think it's going to be too much off, but I think we can repeat. Again, we just have to stick to what we do. Play the type of football that the Eagles have now been known to play. And again, Saquon Barkley, of course, he's probably not going to have a record-breaking year that he had this year, but I think it's going to be a solid year, again, because he's still running behind one of, if not the best offensive lines in the entire NFL. Baseball, I think the Phillies made some improvements on the right end as far as pitching, starting pitching, and that back end in the bullpen. They also got a couple position players who I think are improvements for what they had and what they lost. So I think they will have a really, really good chance to come back and win something big. I think, again, they're going to have a very, very nasty taste in their mouth for the Mets because of how that situation played out where they felt like they had that and then it turned around the opposite way. So I think the Phillies are going to come out and be determined and have a fighting, very, very big fighting chance and be in it, be in the thick of things pretty much throughout the season. So, folks, for me, I got to give y'all some stuff. Here at Heat 100 Radio, we always tell you we have the best concert access and all that stuff. So we all know about Lit and AC. And if you've been listening in, you heard the commercials on the station, get the mobile app. If you have not downloaded already, available on iOS, the Apple, and for the Google Play Store. Just search Heat 100 Radio online. Download the app, take Heat 100 Radio with you. Also in my bio, you can get to the link if you don't have the app. If you want to listen at work, you can't have your phone just out. You can pull up your computer and listen to us online. All right, the link is in my bio. Just make sure you copy it correctly and put it in and tune in. So, Lit and AC, March 29th. Tickets are already on sale, but you can listen, tune in to Heat 100 Radio, to my show. You can listen into the midday rush, Simply Monica and Rock the Barber. You might be able to win some tickets. Also, I think we have Venus Intimate Connections on Thursdays. So you might have a chance to win some tickets. But if not, you can call up box office, Eventbrite, Ticketmaster, look up Lit and AC and get your tickets March 29th, Atlantic City. All right. Passcode is LIT. Also, for your boy, Philly All-American game. I go every year. I have been missing this particular event, but I'll have some data. I'll have some stuff for you. On March 4th, there is a press conference 12 to 2 for that game. I will be in attendance, and I'll bring you all the information for the Philly All-American game. Also, next month in April, your boy will be out and about at the Philly All-Star Labor Classic, April 13th at Holy Family College. All right. It's a free event. It's for a great cause. And I'll give you all the information as we get closer to that event. So I definitely appreciate the support I get from Philly All-American Game founders and group. Also, the support that I am now receiving from the Philly Labor Classic. So I look forward to being at both of those events, especially the Philly Labor Classic. Again, anytime I can get out and be in support of such a great event for a great cause, I try to do my best to get there. So I will be there for that. Folks, thank you all for tuning in. Blue Boy 2000, Walt 7750, Reggie 1013, and Mighty Boxing Club. As always, I appreciate you guys' support. Definitely make sure you stay tuned. You know where to find me at Sports Rap CEO on Instagram, Threads, and X, or TikTok. I'm really not on X that much. So at Sports Rap CEO on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Facebook, Sports Rap Podcast LLC is the group page over there. YouTube, Sports Rap TV. Make sure you get over there and do what you're supposed to do. Get over there, like the videos that you like, hit that thumbs up. Then you subscribe to the channel, and then you hit the bell and learn and find out when new content is up. Damage Dent TV. Thanks for tuning in at the last minute, good brother. I appreciate you. What's happening, Chief? Sixers bad. You can see this video. It's going to be up in a minute. I'll hit you up when I throw it up on YouTube, either later tonight or tomorrow. You can see recap the whole thing. It'll be on Spotify and all that other stuff too. So again, make sure you tune in to Heat 100 Radio at all times. Again, download the mobile app if you have not, available on Google Play Store and on iOS. Just search Heat 100 Radio online. Again, in my bio on all of my socials, there is the link for the music. If you cannot download the mobile app, you can still tune in and take us with you through the link on the interweb. Also, it's Monday. The weather is changing. If you are on your way home from work, take your time, enjoy some of this nice weather. As always, be great on purpose. I will see you guys all week on social media, right back here next Monday in studio. Talk to y'all soon. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Peace.